Shalom. All praises go to the Most High Yahuwah, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Lawah Kodash, double honor, son to the elder apostles, that great milestone for the teachings of the scriptures, among other things. Shalom to the sincere Akim across the world. Now, this is a video that I came across, which is titled, Why I'm No Longer a Hebrew Israelite. Yeah, that's like saying, that's like a Chinese person saying, I'm not a Chinese because I was born in America. And, you know, stuff like that. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, this guy says over here, whatever, you know exactly where I'm coming from. You just playing semantics. All praises to Yahuah. So I read that. Love Yashar all. Yashar all. Yeah, okay, right. Which this is wrong also. Anyway, because it's this. What? So I typed in this. The letter U is a caucus made and invented letter. The first recorded use of U and V as distinct letters in a Gothic alphabet from 1386, where V preceded. Okay. Anyway, yeah, preceded. Yeah. Printers eschewed capital U in favor of V into the 7th century, and the distinct between the two letters was not fully accepted by the French Academy until 1762. The letter U was invented in Europe, and English is imported to America by Europeans that moved there. So they took that European language to America, and now Americans predominantly speak English. Yeah, because you have Spanish and stuff like that. But those are the Roman Latins. That's another Edomite language. English is not Edomite, by the way. This Yahuah is not the ancient word. The W is where the U comes from. And thus, you need to replace the U with a W and then add an A in front of it, which would make it Yahuwah instead of Yahuah. And Joshua is actually, Yahushua, because he names himself hung like Yahushua, is actually Joshua, which in the Hebrew is Yahuwah Shawai. Joshua is Yahuwah Shawai in the Hebrew, or Yahuwah Shawai, spelled different there, which means Yahuwah is the deliverer. Yahuwah Shai means he deliverer. That's what that word means. So I'll get this in the scriptures. Now it says here. So I wrote here, and Joshua is actually what? Man, this is Yahushua, whatever. What? I can't even pronounce it. That's how just wrong it is. Yahushua is actually Joshua, and you can catch that here, right? There's an English version of it, by the way. So Joshua, if you click on it, it says here, Hebrew 30:91, Yahuwah Shawai. That's what it says right here, which is Joshua, which means Yahuwah is salvation, which is the truth, because that is his name. But the Lord Yahuwah Shai has a name above all other names. Hebrew chapter 1 verse 4. Being made so much better than the angels, as he had by inheritance obtained a more excellent name than they. Because his name means he the deliverer, and nobody else has that name upon the planet Earth. Even the book of Sirach. Now in the book of Sirach it says the son of Jesus. But you have to remember that's written from the Greek into the English. And you can catch that here in the book of Acts chapter 7 verse 45. I started 44. Our fathers had the tabernacle of witness in the wilderness, which is the tabernacle of witness, which is where the ark was eventually. The tabernacle of witness is the tent. Here, the Ark of the Covenant. It's also called Ark of Witness. There's a scripture on that. Here. Yeah, wait, let me. Wow. Let me see. Tabernacle. I think it's Numbers 1. Oh, number 17. And Moses laid up the rods before the Lord in the tabernacle of witness. Here you have the tabernacle of witness. Let me see. If you read this chapter, you will see that the tabernacle of witness is talking about the Ark of the Covenant. Let me see, what verse was that? 8. And okay, so it says here, so verse 8, number 17 and 8. And it came to pass that on the morrow Moses went into the tabernacle of witness, and behold, behold, the rod of Aaron for the house of Levi was budded, and brought forth buds, and bloomed blossoms, and yielded almonds. But where did he put it? Let me see. Here. So the bud of Aaron was in there, right? So what was in there then? Hebrews chapter 9 verse 4, which had the golden censer. So inside so wait, let me start here. Verse 2. For there was a tabernacle made, the first, wherein was the candlestick and the table and the showbread, which is called the sanctuary. So this is the physical sanctuary of the Israelites, the physical one, which is this one. The tabernacle here, inside, basically is the sanctuary, but this whole thing is the sanctuary. But where the showbread is in and stuff like that, that is the sanctuary. But we, as a nation, the elect, starting with the elect star, I should say, are symbolically are the sanctuary of the Lord. So verse 3. And after the second veil, and after the second veil, which is, let me see something. Tabernacle. Where did I put that one? I think this one. Yeah, so here you have the, wow, here, here you have the showbread, here you have it inside the table and bread and stuff like that. So that's there, and the candlestick and all that type of stuff, and the showbread, which is called the sanctuary. And the second veil, which is, this one is the first veil, and this one is the second veil. And after the second veil, you will have the Ark of the Testimony, the Ark of the Covenant. The tabernacle, which is called, and after the second veil, the tabernacle, which is called the holiest of all. So that's the holiest of holies, which had the golden censer, and the Ark of the Covenant overlaid with roundabout with gold, wherein was the golden pot that had the manna, and what was in there? And Aaron's rod that budded, and the tables of the covenant, right? Yeah, right. So, and those are the 10 commandments. So that was in the Ark of the Covenant. So it's also called the Ark of Witness, or the Testimony, the Tabernacle of Witness. So that's that. So let me read it again. So for Acts 7:44, our fathers had the tabernacle of witness in the wilderness, as he had appointed, the Heavenly Father appointed them to do so, speaking unto Moses that he should make it according to the fashion that he had seen in his head, because the Most High gave him a vision. That shows you that our memory power was very powerful. You know, you could just make something off of something that's just in your head. You saw it one time in your head, and you could just make it to the T. Perfect. Verse 54. which also are fathers, the same tabernacle, the same Ark of the Covenant, which also are fathers that came after, brought in with Yahushua, actually it says Jesus, into the land, into the possession of the Gentiles, whom the Heavenly Father drove out before the face of our fathers unto the days of David. This is talking about the book of Deuteronomy chapter 7. Well, it's talking about the book of Joshua actually, but it's also mentioned in Deuteronomy 7 and 1. He cast out the nations that were before us. But this Jesus, so my point of talking all this is to show you that this word Jesus is actually Joshua, because you can catch that here. Acts 7 and 45. Here. Because Yahushua was never there. He was not like this one, not like how he came here on the earth in the flesh. He came there as the angel in the time of Egypt. So yeah, he was there, but not like how he came here in the flesh as a man. And you can read that in the book of Acts chapter 10, if I'm correct. No, it wasn't 10. It was 1 Corinthians. I think maybe, yeah, here. Yeah. That rock, that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Yahushua. That was the angel in the book of Exodus chapter 14. Exodus chapter 14. Yeah, here. Exodus 14. You can read that for yourself if you have the time. Until here. So from here 14 until 31. Right. So going back over here. So this Jesus is talking about Joshua, because it Acts chapter 7 verse 45. Here, under Joshua. And that is the truth, because this is mentioned in the book of Joshua. Right? That they came, and then the first place that they took was Jericho. After Moses died, they took Jericho with Joshua. Right. So my point is that this word here shows you that from the Greek into the English, you would then therefore say Jesus. Because the New Testament was translated from the Greek into the English, right? In this case. Because you did have the Hebrew in the New Testament as a Hebrew, you did have that. But anyway, so now when you then therefore use the Apocrypha as a reference, as like an example, you would see that there it says Jesus also, but it actually says Joshua. Just like how you have in the New Testament, you have Elijah, which is then Elias. You have Hosea, which is in the New Testament, Ossi. You know, who is Ossi? The book of Hosea. That's OC. And where can you find that is written? Romans 9 and here. As he also saith in Oz, I will call them my people, which are not my people, and her beloved, which was not beloved, which is here. Hosea chapter 1, verse here. You are not my people, and I will not be your God. Ye are not my people, and there shall they say unto there shall it be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God. So this sentence, verse 10, is actually mentioned here in the New Testament in Romans 9 and 26. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall they be called the children of the sons, the children of the living God. So back to the book of Hosea 1 and 10. I'm going to just read this one. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall it be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God. So it's talking about Hosea, but they changed the name into OC. So that's the same thing here. They changed the name from Joshua or Yahushua into Jesus. And they do that also with the Lord. But then they named the Lord Joshua. So what are you saying actually when you saying this word? Yoshua, and you have all these names for the Lord Yahushua, but it's Yeshua, Yeshua, and this one here, Yehoshua, and all that. This is actually Joshua. You know, it's actually Joshua, Yahushua, which means Yahuwah is the deliverer. But the Lord Yahushua, he is the deliverer. You know, of course, the Heavenly Father sent him. Yes, we know that. But we honor his name, Yahuwah, in the name of Yahushua. Right. So now I think I go on. So it says here, this Yahuwah is not the ancient word. The W is where the U comes from. I already read that, if I'm correct. Let me see. Which means Yahuwah is the deliverer. Yahushua means he, deliverer, or he is the deliverer. We spoke the language of Canaan. It is called language of Canaan in the scriptures, which nowadays it's, well, which nowadays it's called Phoenician Hebrew or Phoenician alphabet or Paleo Hebrew. Isaiah chapter 19 verse 20. Let me get that there. Isaiah 19 and just okay. The point is not 20, 19, 18. So, but the point is 18. Isaiah 19 verse 16. In that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which he shaketh over it. And the land of Judah, which nowadays are the Israelite groups, starting with the elder apostles on down, those are the lands of Judah. Everywhere you have Israelites, you have Jerusalem, basically. Everywhere you have the Ephraimites, you have Basra. So everywhere you have Ammonites, Japanese, you have Rahab, so one of those two. Or Rahab or Rabbah. One of those two. Jeremiah 48 shows you that. So, if you go to America and you find little Tokyo, that's actually little Rabbah. But of course, Japan is their country, and then that's actually, you know, representative of that. So that's Rabbah over there. But anyway, so, and the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Mizraim, Egypt, modern day Mizraim, and which is Egypt. Modern day Egypt is America. Everyone that maketh mention thereof shall be afraid in himself, because of the counsel of the Lord of hosts, which he had determined against it. In that day shall 5 cities in the land of Egypt speak the language of Canaan, and swear to the Lord of hosts, one shall be called the city of destruction. So wait, I was thinking of something. Right, so the point is, let me read it again. In that day shall 5 cities in the land of Egypt speak the language of Canaan, which and swear to Yahuwah, the Lord of hosts. One shall be called the city of destruction, because the Israelites, with that spiritual power, are going to destroy these, the modern day Egypt, these Egyptians. The modern day Egyptians are the Ephraimites. Zephaniah chapter 3 verse 8. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith Yahuwah, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy, nuclear fire, in the end. But before that, the Lord is going to set the people on fire. Not yet physical, because he's going to burn them. You know, for verse 9. With the judgment that he's going to bring upon them, you know, death and destruction is going to come. Symbolically, they're going to be set on fire, and then eventually physically fire. For then will I turn to the people a pure language, that they may all call upon the name of the Lord, to serve him with one consent. So the Lord is going to give us that pure language. But as for now, we speak the language of Canaan. You know, because it's not just the Canaanite language. So it shows you here, Phoenician Hebrew. The Phoenicians are actually Canaanites. The Phoenician language was common to the cities of Phoenicia. And where is Phoenicia? Here. Well, here, Tyre and Sidon. And who is Sidon? Genesis chapter 10 verse 15. And Canaan begat Sidon, his firstborn, and Heth. So Sidon is a Canaanite. And here you have the city of Canaan. Sorry, the city of Sidon in the land of Canaan. And then you had Tyre, which is the sister city to Sidon. And here, of course, is Lebanon. But there you had the Canaanites also. Right. Here, it is a Greek word. So it says here, borrow from the Latin Phoenicia. Yeah, but Phoenician is a Greek word. They named it, but Phoenician is then English, you know. But you know, this is actually the Greek word. These two, from the ancient Greek, and the Latins took it from them, which are the Roman Latins, which are Ephraimites, but they took it from the Greek. The word is already found in the whatever, ultimately from Egypt, Canaanites and Syrians, whatever, but it's actually Canaanites. And yeah, let me see the origin of Phoenicia. What Phoenician? Here, it's a Greek invention. They just created it because they named them. But the Phoenicians called themselves Hana, which is Canaanites. They called themselves Canaanites. Even though the name we use for them, Phoenician, is not the name they gave themselves. They called themselves Hanan, which is Hebrew for, sometimes translated as Canaanites. That is what it is. Hanan. So the word Hanan or Hananya is actually Canaan. Here, Hanan. Let me see something here. Genesis 10. Let me just type this in. Hanan, which is Hebrew 366. Hanan. Yeah, Hanan. Yeah, you know, so. But you also have Hananya, but that's another one. That's another one. Canaan, that's what it means. That's Canaan. Not what it means. I mean, that's what it is. It means something else, right? Lowland. Okay, so that's the Canaanites. So now going back to over, where was I? Okay, the Phoenician Hebrew. So it says here the Phoenician language was common to the cities of Phoenicia, which is Canaan. It was closely related to Hebrew. Right. So therefore you have, for example, here being said, Isaiah chapter 19 verse 16, in that day shall 5 cities in the land of Egypt speak the language of Canaan. That's why, to the power of Yahuwah Bashem Yahushua, and he put that spirit on the elder apostles at Great Millstone to teach the whole world about Yahuwah Bashem Yahushua, which is the language that we spoke in the land of Canaan. I'm not saying it's a Canaanite language. I'm saying it's the language of the land of Canaan, because that is what we spoke there. Now, when Aram came, I mean like Laban from Aram, which Laban is in Hebrew. You know, you can catch that here. 1 Corinthians 1. No, 1 Chronicles, sorry. 1 Chronicles 1. So now it says here Shem, verse 24. Arphaxad, Shelah, Eber. So everybody that comes from Eber is a Hebrew. Pelech, Reu, Seru, Nahor, Terah. So Terah is the father of here. And Terah lived, Genesis chapter 11, verse 26. And Terah lived 60 years and begot Abram, Nahor, and Haran. So Terah is the father of Nahor also. So, and Nahor, what is he? He's the brother of Abraham. Genesis 22 and 20. And it came to pass after these things that it was told Abraham, saying, Behold, Milcah, she had also borne children unto thy brother Nahor. And okay, so these are the children of Nahor. And the other child was the seventh, I think the eighth. Yeah, the eighth. Yeah, here, the last one was Bethuel. Verse 23. And Bethuel begat Rebekah. These 8 Milcah did bore to Nahor, Abraham's brother. Okay, so Rebekah is actually family of Abraham. And Isaac is the son of Abraham. Okay, so Rebekah needs to call Abraham uncle. And Isaac needs to call Bethuel uncle. So Isaac and Rebekah are 2 cousins of the fathers that are brothers. Genesis 24, and here you see it mentioned again. Anyway, I'll come later to that, Lord willing. 15, Genesis 24 and 15. And it came to pass, before he had done speaking, that behold, Rebekah came out, who was born to Bethuel, the son of Milcah, the wife of Nahor, Abraham's brother, with her pitcher upon her shoulder. So Bethuel is her father, which Nahor is Bethuel, his father. What am I saying? Sorry. Nahor is the father of Bethuel, and Rebekah is the daughter of Bethuel. I'm messing myself up. Wow, sorry. Bethuel is the son of Nahor, and Nahor is the brother of Abraham, and Rebekah is the daughter of Bethuel. Right? Man, the hell. And then Genesis 25 and 20. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, which is his cousin, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Padan Aram. This Syrian is talking about the region. It's not talking, because if you look up this word, Genesis 25 and 15, if I'm correct, right? Let me see. No, Genesis 25 and 20. So it says here Syrian, Bethuel the Syrian, right? And Laban the Syrian is the same word. Hebrews 7:6:1. Hebrews 7:6:1. Okay, you click on that. It says here Aramya, right? Exalted, a thing or person from Syria or Aram. Okay, so who is Aram then, therefore? If you go to the book of Genesis 10, you will see that the children of Shem, verse 22, Genesis 10:22, the children of Shem, Elam, and Ashur, which is Assyria, and Arphaxad, and Lud, and Aram, right? So this Aram is the actual man named Aram, which he is the grandson. That's another one, by the way. I just read this one in the book of Genesis 22. This is another Aram. I can show you again. Well, I didn't read it actually. Here, Aram. So this Nahor also had a grandson named Aram, but that's not the bloodline of Aram, the Aram in Genesis 10, because that one is the. Let me show you something here. Because that one is the bloodline that goes through here, Arphaxad. So the bloodline of Abraham. And also Nahor, because Abraham is his brother. Nahor and Abraham are brothers. They come from the same father. So it's not some other bloodline. This is their bloodline. Yeah, so he also comes from Eber. So Nahor is an Eber. He's from the same line as his brother Abraham, and therefore both of their father Terah. So this Syrian is talking about the land. It's not talking about the bloodline of this one here. Where sorry. It's not talking about this one. Sorry. Genesis 10 and here 22. The children of Shem, Elam, and Ashur, and Arphaxad. So this man, his bloodline goes then therefore to Eber. But this Aram bloodline, he goes to Uz, Hul, and Geter, and Geter and Mash. So this Arphaxad goes to Eber, and from Eber to Peleg, and from Peleg to wait. Peleg to well, it says it right here. From Peleg to Reu, and then Serah and Nahor, which is Terah's father, and then Terah got Abraham, Nahor, and Haran. So he named his son the same name as his father. Right. So I hope I didn't confuse anyone. Right, so he's not from this one over here. When it says that, when it says this here. Right, anyway, so when it then therefore says that Bethuel the Syrian from Padan Aram, it's talking about the region. Same thing here with Abraham. So Deuteronomy 26:5, and thou shalt speak and say before Yahuah thy power, a Syrian ready to perish was my father. Who is that? That's Abraham. And he went down into Egypt and sojourned there with a few, and became there a nation, great, mighty, and populous. And you can catch that here also. Genesis 12. No. Genesis 24. You can catch that here also, actually. He went into the land of Canaan and to Haran and stuff like that. He went there too. But actually, this one is what I want. Genesis 24:3. And I will make thee swear by Yahuah, the power of heaven and the power of the earth, that thou shalt not take a wife unto my son of the daughters of the Canaanites, among whom I dwell. Abraham said that. But thou shalt go unto my country and to my kindred, and take a wife unto my son Isaac. And what wife was that? Verse 7. And Yahuah, the power of heaven, which took me out of my father's house and from the land of my kindred, and that was in Haran, the land of the Ur of the Chaldees, and then he went to Haran. So let me read down. I'm going to go to the points. Verse 10. And the servant of Abraham took 10 camels of the camels of his master Abraham, and departed. For all the goods of his master were in his hands. And he arose and went to Mesopotamia unto the city of Nahor. And where was that? That was in a region called Padan Aram. And in Padan Aram, you had a city called Haran, which is in the land of Mesopotamia, because that whole region over there is called Mesopotamia. This whole region over here is called Mesopotamia. But the place Mesopotamia, in the real language of it, it's actually called the land of Aram. Here, I often repeat this, but I'm gonna do it again. Here, the names Syria, Assyria, Mesopotamia, Babylon, etc. stem from the Greeks. They are the ones that named it. Just like how Elias is called is actually called Elijah, but in their language, it's Elisha or Elias, something like that. But anyway, you can read the rest for yourself if you have the time. The old, true, and single name of these lands is Aram. So the land Syria, the land Assyria, the region Mesopotamia, the city and area Babylon are all actually called the lands of Aram. So when Abraham got out of there, it was called the land of Aram. And then he went to here, Haran, and he chilled there. And you can read that here. Genesis 12 and also 11. Verse 5, Genesis 12:5. And Abraham took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance that they had together, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran. And they went forth into the land of Canaan. And into the land of Canaan they came. So who stayed in Haran? Genesis 11 now. Verse, yeah, well, you can read this for yourself if you have the time. But it says here, verse 27. Now these are the okay, Haran died in the land of Ur of the Chaldees, so he stayed there. Verse 31. And Terah took Abraham his son, and Lot the son of Haran his son's son, and Sarai his daughter-in-law, and his son Abraham's wife. And they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees to go into the land of Canaan, and they came unto Haran and dwelt there. So who was in Haran? His brother Nahor and his children, Milcah and stuff like that, the daughter of Haran. And then Nahor, took that daughter and made children. Yes. It says it right here. And then fast forward to 22, because it says here, Milcah, the daughter of Haran. And then Genesis 22, and it says here, in verse 20, and it came to pass after these things that it was told Abraham, saying, Behold, Milcah, she had also borne children unto thy daughter Nahor, unto thy brother Nahor. Sorry. And so it's all in the family. And then later on, the Lord said, basically, you can't do certain things, but you are allowed to have children with your father's brother. If you are a man, his daughter, and if you are a daughter, his son. Cousins are allowed to marry one another, right? So that's in the scriptures. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm just telling you that's in the scriptures. That's what they did. The book of Leviticus 18 explains you exactly what type of sexual relationships you are allowed to have. I'm not telling you to do them. Just go marry your cousin or something like that. You didn't do anything wrong, But yeah, the eyes of the world and the mentality of the world right now, especially in America, is not like that. If you go more to the east of Europe, the east of the world itself, that's normal there. Right. So, okay, now going back to over here. Where is it? So that's that part. So Hebrews chapter 11 verse. Oh, made a mistake. Hebrews chapter 11. What? Verse 11 and 12. Yeah, 11 and 12. Through faith also Sarah herself received strength to conceive seed through faith, and was delivered of a child when she was past age. She was over 60, because she was 90 years old, because he judged him faithful who had promised, which is the Most High. Therefore sprang there even of one, and him as good as dead. So he was as good as dead, Abraham, because he was already old. He was 100 years old. So here it says, Deuteronomy 26 and 5, and thou shalt speak and say before Yahuah thy power, a Syrian ready to perish as my father. This is talking about the Israelites. Our forefather is a Syrian because he's from the land of Syria. He's not an actual descendant of the man named Aram, which this word is supposed to be Aram. But he's not from that bloodline. He's from those lands. And you can catch that here again in the scriptures. 5, Numbers 23 and 7, and Deuteronomy 23 and 4. Numbers 22 and 5. He sent messengers therefore unto Balaam the son of Beor to Pethor, which is by the river, of the children of the people of the land. Wow. which is by the river of the land of the children of his people, to call him, saying, Behold, there is a people come out of Egypt. Behold, they cover the face of the earth, and they abide over against me. That river is Euphrates. Numbers 23:7. And he took up his parable and said, Balak, the king of Moab, had brought me, Balaam, this is Balaam, from Aram. So Balaam comes from Aram, out of the mountains of the east, saying, Come, curse me, Jacob, and come, defy Israel. Deuteronomy 23:4. Because they met you is talking about Ammon and the day is talking about Ammon and Moab. Because they met you not with bread and with water in the way, when you came forth out of Egypt. And because they hired against thee Balaam the son of Beor of Pethor of Mesopotamia to curse thee. So where is the land of Aram according to the scriptures? It's Mesopotamia. Because Balaam comes from Aram. And then here it says Mesopotamia. So guess what? Mesopotamia is Aram. So the thing that they said in the... Did I click it away? Oh, okay. Click it away. Wow. Wait. Right. So the thing that they said here is the truth. But we don't need them to verify the truth. But it shows you that they're the ones that cause divisions on purpose. They did it on purpose because they're the deceivers of the planet Earth. They change names. And then the people that grow up don't know the ancient names and the track records and stuff like that because they erase stuff. Well, they didn't erase this one. But anyway, so going back to over here. Yeah, well, I already read that. Genesis 11. So there's the bloodline over there. And Genesis 12, I already read that. You know, I jumped around in it. Genesis 22, jumped around in there. Genesis 24, jumped around in there. And Genesis 25, jumped around through there also. So going back to over here, so it says that basically that we, in that day shall 5 cities speak, no, in that day shall 5 cities in the land of Egypt speak the language of Canaan, and swear to Yahuah, the Lord of hosts, one shall be called the city of destruction. So what are we doing right now? We're not swearing as that one, but we are testifying, which is it's not swearing, but it's a witness. We are testifying of, Yahuah B'Hashem Yahushua. Starting with the power of Yahuah B'Hashem Yahushua, with the deliverance that he gave unto the elder apostles at Great Millstone, to teach the world about Yahuah B'Hashem Yahushua. And here you have Isaiah 36:11. Then said Eliakim and Shebna and Joah unto Rabshakeh, speak, I pray thee, unto thy servants in the Aram language, which is the same language that Laban spoke. Oh shit. And who is Laban? Laban is called Laban the Syrian in Genesis 25. Well, I can actually get it here. Well, no, let me get it here. Genesis 25:20. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Padan Aram. That's the region. In the city called Haran, because it was mentioned that it was the city of his brother. Where was it? Genesis 24 here. Genesis 24:10. And the servants took 10 camels of the camels of his master and departed, for all the goods of his master were in his hand. And he arose and went to Mesopotamia unto the city of Nahor. And what city was that? That city was Haran, because they were there, and they came from Ur of the Chaldees is down there. Here, let me see something. No? Yeah, Haran here. You can see it here, but it's another one over here. Jacob went to go get his wife there and then came back. But that's not what I want. Actually, I want this one done. Mesopotamia here. So Abraham went from here along with his father. His father took him, and then they went to Haran. And then Abraham left Haran. Then he came into the land of Canaan with Lot and with Sarai, and with Lot and Sarai, or which is Sarah. Then they dwelt there. Sorry, right. So they dwelt there. And then, okay, this one. So now going back to over, where was I again? Here. So Isaiah 36 and the rest of 11. Unto thy servants in the Aram language, for we understood it. And speak not to us in the Jews' language, in the ears of the people that are on the wall. But who was here? Wait, sorry. So in Genesis 25 and 20, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel the Syrian of Padan Aram, the sister to Laban the Syrian. Again, he is not from the bloodline of Aram. He's from the bloodline of Eber, just like his father Bethuel, and Bethuel his father Nahor, and Nahor is the brother to Abraham, right? So that's that part. And then here, Laban, he spoke Aram, Genesis 31:47, and Laban called it Jagar Sahadutha, but Jacob called it Galeed. And here you have Rachel, Genesis 36:18, and it came to pass, her soul was departing, for she died. So Rachel was dying, that she called his name Benoni. What is Benoni? But his father Jacob called him Benjamin. But what is Benoni? Benoni is Aram language, and this one is the language of Canaan that we spoke in the land of Canaan, because the Canaanite language is similar to the Hebrew language, because they had a different language compared to Mizraim, for example. Just like how you had the Israelites, what's that again? Manasseh. They didn't have a different language, but yeah, Manasseh, and Ephraim, they spoke the same language, but they couldn't pronounce certain words of each other, so they had a different dialect. It's like Sibboleth and Shibboleth. It's the same word, but they pronounced it different. Right. Well, that's the same thing that the Canaanites had too, compared to the other ones. But yeah, so we had that language, the language of Canaan, because it's talking about the land. It's not actually their language. You know why? Because the Moabites also had the same language. Where did I put it? Phoenician. Here, the Moabite stone. The Moabite stone also had the same language that they say that the Phoenicians have. That they say that it is the Phoenician language. It's not the Phoenician language, my man. It's not the Phoenician alphabet. It's an alphabet of the land of Aram. Let me say it better. It's a language of that region over there, because the Moabites. Well, let me show you something. I made a mistake with what I just said. It's not the land of. Let me show you what I mean. Sorry, where is it? Here. Okay, it's not the language of Aram. Sorry, I mean it's the language of this. So here you had the land of. What the hell? What the? Okay. So you had Moab was using the same thing too, because this is the land of Canaan. So we spoke the language of Canaan. The Moabites had it also. Most likely the Ammonites, but I can't prove that, so I'm not going to say anything. But these people that was living in this region had the language of them. Just like how you have the Edomites, when they go to a place, a lot of people start, look, in the Suriname, you have, that's South America. What do they speak there? Dutch. Why? Because they're colonized by them. You have in Congo, what do they speak there? French. Why do you think? Because they colonized them. They speak all these languages there in these regions. Well, what language do they speak in Suriname here? They speak Dutch, but it's in South America. This is South America. Next to Guyana, which what they speak there is English. What do they speak in French Guyana? They speak there French. Let me see here, Suriname map. Here. These speak French. These speak Dutch. These speak English. These speak Portuguese, if I'm correct. If I'm correct, Portuguese, something like that, or Spanish. You can Spanish, whatever. Right. So yeah, they speak that because they're colonized. So the Canaanites used to be a superpower in that land, and they took everybody over, and then you started to speak their language to a certain degree, you know, because, you know, people are, you live there. But Abraham spoke the language of Aram. That was his language. But we were also dual language. We, as the Israelites, we spoke 2 languages. And I remember the elder apostle Ramlab, he said, he said that the Aram language, or they call it an, what did he say again? He said Aramaic. That's what he said. Aramaic, which is Aram. He said that Aramaic or something like that was a higher form of language that the average Hebrew Israelites didn't speak. I'm looking for it. Wait, sorry. It's here, right? Let me see. What? Here. Yeah, so Isaiah 36 and 11. Then said Eliakim and Shebna and Joah unto Rabshakeh, Speak, I pray thee, unto thy servants in the Aram language, for we understand it. And speak not unto us, what? Speak not to us in the Jews' language, in the ears of the people that are on the wall. But Rabshakeh said, Had my master sent me to thy master and to thee to speak these words? Had he not sent me to the men that sit upon the wall, that they may eat their own dung, basically eat your own shit, and drink your own piss, right? Basically F you, with you, so eat shit and die, basically. Then Rabshakeh stood and cried with a loud voice in the Jews' language, and said, Hear the words of the great king, the king of Assyria. So, Ashur is the brother of Aram. So Genesis chapter 10, verse 22. The children of Shem, Elam is the first, and Ashur, and Arphaxad, and Lud, and Aram. So who is Ashur? Gen 10. And what verse? Let me see. 22. Here. So Ashur is Hebrew 804, which is Assyria, right? It's a man. Assyria is actually a man. It's not a land. The land of Canaan, that's a land, but it's actually a man. Seir, it's a man, but there's Mount Seir now, yeah, but it's a man. It was a Hamite. Shechem is a man, but it's also a city. Haran, it's a man, but it's also a city. Now, he wasn't named after the city, but a lot of times the city is named after a man, and sometimes the man is named after a city. Gilead, the land of Gilead is actually a man. He was named Gilead of Manasseh. and then he conquered that region, and then now they call it Gilead. You know, but yeah, right. So that's Assyria, but it's actually Ashur. It's a man, and Aram is Hebrews 7:5-8. It's Aram. It's here Aram. It's a man. But we spoke that man, his descendants, language. We spoke his language, like, you know. But it's we had our Arphaxad had the same thing too, but the region was not called after Arphaxad. It was called after Aram, because he, just like how you have Manasseh and Ephraim. Yeah, Ephraim was the second born, but Ephraim surpassed his older brother Manasseh, and then therefore he became the head tribe of the northern northern kingdom. Well, same thing with Aram. He surpassed all his brethren, and therefore when they was talking in the language of, where is it again? They was talking in the language of Aram. You know, but of course they had their own thing. Because if I'm correct, the Assyrians had a language too. But until this day, they call it also, nowadays, not until this day, sorry. Nowadays, they call it the Assyrian Hebrew. But you had the Phoenician Hebrew, which is this one. This one. They call it the Phoenician alphabet. They call it the Phoenician alphabet, which is the one that we use in Yahuah, Bashem, Yahshai, and all that here. The Proto-Synodic, which is, these are Hamites, which is very similar to the ones that they call Phoenician. But the one that they call Phoenician is not just Phoenician, because it's also Moabite. It's also the ones that what we spoke, right? So Abha, Gada, Ha, Wa, Za, and Ha, no, Ha. I forgot. I need to go study that again. Anyway, right. The second one is our language, but they call it Canaanite language, because that is the language of Canaan. In the scriptures, it explicitly shows you that that is what we was talking. They just call it that. It's not a big thing. I mean, the Moabites use it too. In the Moabite stone, does that make it a Moabite language? Or why don't people call it, we speak Moabites when we speak the Paleo Hebrew and stuff like that? No, they call it the Phoenician because they was the ones that was basically the top. There was 7 nations greater and mightier than us, man. They colonized the whole region over there. Deuteronomy 7:1. When Yahuah thy power shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and has cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites and the Girgasites and the Amorites and the Canaanites, which all are Canaanites, but these ones are specifically called Canaan, and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. So and they was afraid of them. A lot of people were afraid of them. If you read the scriptures, the Moabites didn't dare to fight them because they was too big. They scared. And after a while, when we beat them, then the Moabites came to fight us and talking about, give me back my land. What? What are you talking about? Yeah, y'all stole this land from me. No, we didn't. We took down the Canaanites. Yeah, but they stole the land from us. Yeah, that had nothing to do with me. That was in the time of Jephthah in the book of Judges. It had nothing to do with us. But they was some cowards because they was scared to fight against the giant, the Canaanites. I was thinking of a few things. Wait, sorry. Moab, in the book of Judges. In the book of Judges, what, 11? Yeah, 11. Yeah, 11. Here, I just read it. I just saw it here. And said unto, okay, 15. So Judges 11 and 12. And Jephthah sent messengers unto the king of the children of Ammon, which are Japanese, saying, what hast thou to do with me that thou art come against me to fight in my land, which is the land of what was it again? Manasseh? Yeah, if I'm correct, it was Manasseh. Manasseh. And here. Where is it again? Let me see. Here. So Japhet was here, and here East Manasseh, and then you had Ammon that came to fight. I said Moab, but yeah. Anyway, I made a mistake. It was actually Ammon. And the children of Ammon answered unto the messengers of Japhet. They said, because Israel took away my land when they came up out of Egypt, from Arnon even to Jabbok, which I just showed, by the way. Here is Arnon, and here is Jabbok. So, here, the river Jabbok, here, from here until here, the Israelites took, because Reuben and Gad took there. But Manasseh was in the place too, because this is just a map. Lands are bigger than maps show. Right, and by the way, it was on their side. Anyway, going on. Now, therefore, restore those lands again peaceably. And then he explains it here and all that type of stuff. But there's another place where it shows you that it was actually, let me see. Wait, let me get that. Right, so this is the book of Numbers, chapter 21, verse 21. And Israel sent messengers unto Sihon, the king of the Amorites, saying, let me pass through thy land. We will not turn into thy fields, or into the vineyards. We will not drink of the waters of the well. But we will go along by the king's highway until we be past thy borders. And Sihon would not suffer Israel to pass through his borders. But Sihon gathered all his people together and went out against Israel into the wilderness. And he came to Jahaz and fought against Israel. Right, let me read it again. It says, and Israel smote him with the edge of the sword and possessed his land from Arnon unto Jabbok, even unto the children of Ammon. For the border of the children of Ammon was strong, so we couldn't fight against the Ammonites. So basically it wasn't even theirs to begin with. But if you actually check out, I think if somewhere else it was written that they took it from them. Let me see, I think it's here. And Israel took all these cities, and Israel dwelt in all the cities of the Amorites, in Heshbon, and in all the villages thereof. For Heshbon was the city of Sihon, the king of the Amorites. Oh yeah, here it is. Who had fought against the former king of Moab. See, that's what it was. And taken all his land out of his hand, even unto Arnon. So, from Arnon to Jabbok, the Ammonite wanted it, but Sihon took it from Moab. So he was full of shit in the first place. But you know, that's why until this, not that's why, but for example, until this day you have Japan and China fighting. Until this day you have Japan and China fighting for the Senkaku Islands dispute. The Senkaku Islands dispute. This was in 2023, 2024, 2019. They've been fighting for a few years now. They've been fighting for longer than that, by the way, a few decades actually. Excuse me, sorry. Let me go on. Beijing and Tokyo. They're fighting for a land that they both claim for themselves. So until this day, they're fighting for a land that they claim for themselves because, not because, but yeah. Here, back in the ancient times, they were actually, so the land of Reuben was actually here, Moab. And Ammon, they also feel like they that land belonged to them. So until this day, you have Ammon and Moab fighting for, where is it? The Senkaku Islands. The Senkaku Islands. These islands. Senkaku Islands. So you have China and Japan fighting for these regions. And Taiwan. It's China, Japan, and Taiwan. All three of them are fighting for these lands. So the Japanese called them these names, the Chinese call them the other names, and then the Taiwanese people call them other names. So they have three names for these places. So it says here the Kensenkaku Islands and stuff like that. So they have that there set up there, right? So they're fighting against each other.